live. I'm so excited. So welcome everybody. Let me know if you're joining us, and if you're joining and you have questions about the Sacred Soul Alignment certification, you can type them in the comments, and I'm going to try to keep an eye on those to ask our panel here. So I'm doing this a little bit differently this time. I actually have two panels scheduled, one right now and one on the 26th, because normally these can go like super long. So probably won't be more than I would guess 45 minutes or so for these at the longest for these beautiful testimonials. So this is something I do a couple times a year. I hop on with some of my practitioners from Sacred Soul Alignment and just ask them to share from their heart whatever they would like to share about their experience with this modality, with these tools. And I'm always blown away by what I hear. So I can't wait to see what you all have to share today. And we're going to start with Edith. And Edith, I'm going to go ahead and spotlight you here with me. And I'm so excited to see your face because you come on live to the calls, but a lot of times people have their cameras off and I don't get to see
Yeah,
you. So
yeah.
thank you for being here and welcome.
Thank you. I'm here at work, so I apologize for my attire, but I felt guided to come and just reveal how beautiful the work that you do and how effective and powerful it is on my family, my friends. So much stuff has happened. I'm it's just heart blowing. So many changes has happened with my children, with my son who has a disability. For the first time, he began drawing and just running the energies, digestive, anxiety. I had friends over and I ran the cleanse and protect energies. And after a while, it was a doctor here actually, a medical doctor. And after 45 minutes, he came crying to me because what did you do to me? I saw angels wing protecting me. And I'm like, I just ran the cleanse and protect on you. And he sat and cried. I was just baffled with how powerful and beautiful the energies are. In the midst of stress, in the midst of crazy days, I like just like do the flash activation or just like this beautiful rose alignments or just love yourself fully or wake into happiness and just bathe in them. And it's just so beautiful. It's just like a breath air for soul. It's just like, I mean, I have no words for it, how beautiful they are, how powerful they are. My husband, the ultimate skeptic, around the energies on him on compassion, and he was struggling with heart and compassion and feelings, and it really affected him. And so now when I run the energies, he says, make sure you let me know where you're running because I want to know what I have to be prepared for. So it was just, and he was like vibrating. So they are so beautiful, so powerful. And I want to learn more. And, in the future, I'm planning on joining Alicia on the advanced practitioner, because right now I'm a part of the cash record, a part of everything. I believe in that stuff. I'm
Yes.
just 100% convinced, and I want to go on and on and on and on to reach the level, upgraded level of myself so I can help people. So, and I'm just so grateful that I came across you, and I will continue on doing it because I know this stuff is beautiful, gentle, and yet powerful. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. From my family, my friends, to you.
Thank you so much, Edith. Thank you for being here and joining us while you're at work. That means a lot to me. And I'm so happy to have you in our family.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll let you get back to work. Have a good rest of your
Love you.
day. Love you too.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Mwah.
That was beautiful. I love seeing people that I don't normally get to see face to face. That was so much fun. Thank you, Edith. And I'm going to bring Jill on. Jill, you're driving. And thank you for being here while you're driving. Okay. Well, if you're driving, that's fine too. Okay. Thank you for joining us from the car.
You're welcome. So I just wanted to say that Sacred Soul Alignment has definitely changed my life. I think this is the third time I chose to level 1 and I've done the advanced, and I'll do the advanced again because I get your energy changes every time. But for me, and it's better, it up levels. But for me, it's been from the practical stuff where I'm protecting my energy to I run alignments on my cats every day. I've run alignments, and I work for a kitten rescue a couple days a week, and we've had some really nasty things come into the kitten rescue, and run alignments on the cats. I mean, it's effective with everything. I mean, I have the COVID alignment that I use every single day on myself. I've run alignments on friends. I use it with my clients every day, and it's probably, I mean, I'm certified in 9 different things, and it's probably the most beneficial, the most wide uses, because you have, I mean, now it's probably like, I think we're up to like 400 alignments at this point. So it's like feeling into whether it's muscular, whether it's trauma, disconnect, and they're so versatile. And so you can making cocktails out of things and seeing, okay, what do I, and being able to layer them, being able to use them. And I mean, they saved my booty more than once when I've been out in public and there's nothing I can do. And it's like, okay, I've used everything I've got and I'm still having issues. Okay, so what alignment do I need? And just being able to pull those up. So it's a super, I mean, I cannot recommend highly enough Sacred Soul alignments. I mean, you are an exceptional teacher. You are an exceptional space holder. The depth and breadth of your knowledge, Alicia, and every one of us that gets the honor of being in your presence is beyond what I have words for. I mean, that's what I just said is like the tip of the iceberg. I mean, you've been, you are a friend, you are a teacher, you are incredibly gifted at what you do. You've changed probably thousands of lives. I know you've got like 500 or 600 of us that are certified, but every time you do that, it's a ripple effect. So I'm incredibly grateful for this modality. I'm incredibly grateful that I finally jumped, and I cannot recommend highly enough. It was one of the best investments you'll ever make as far as modalities are concerned, if you're in the healing arts and if you want to expand.
Thank you. Do you guys see why I love doing these? Thank you, Jill. That's quite a statement, and I love everything that you just said there. And it is using them on our pets, right? People ask me all the time, "Can I use this on my pet?" And animals are one of the easiest beings to work on. They're so receptive, and so many times people will say how their cat or their dog always comes in when I'm when they hear my voice, when I'm doing healing work, because animals want to receive the energy, right? And your cats are so sweet. Yeah. So you said a lot of things there. I'm replaying it in my mind, and I love how you said we can just, you're out and about, and we can just run an alignment, and there's 450 alignments now. And I did a full moon healing, and I just ran some of the new alignments that I put into level 1 last time, and I was kind of blown away by how powerful they are. I hadn't used a lot of them a lot of time, and so it keeps getting better and better, and our group just keeps getting better and better, and I'm excited to see who's next. So thank you for being here, Jill. We'll let you go because I know you're on the road.
Thank you.
But I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you. Now I got to figure out how to remove that. Awesome. Okay, good. All right. So we have a few more people here with us. Is there anyone who feels like you would like to share next? Catherine, you're ready. I'm going to spotlight you. And unmute you. And it's good to see you. I think you might have, there you go. It's good to see you, Catherine. How are you?
Good to see you too. I'm doing well, thank you. Do you get questions here or?
I had forgot to look, actually. I was so enthralled with what everybody was saying. Let me take a look. Some of the common questions that people ask are, let me see. Some of the common questions that people ask are, am I ready? You know, is this right for me? Do I have to be a healer? Do I have to have experience? Other common questions that people are, you know, people are concerned about. A lot of times the things that people feel like are stopping them are not knowing if they're ready. Concern for the financial investment, because it is an investment. And do I have enough time? Will I be able to complete the class? So are any of those on your
I'll take
mind
the
that you'd
first
like to
one.
speak? Okay.
The first one was, I think, am I ready? Right.
Yes.
And I think that's a good question. So first off, I'll say I think this is an amazing modality. I, like many others here, have trained in other modalities and other areas, etc. And this is by far the most potent thing that I've ever done. Even though whenever I'm in session, I'm always checking with a client to see what's of optimal performance in this case. And usually a sacred soul alignment will be one of the first few things that I run, because it really helps to clear the slate before I go in deeper before you're like looking for a root cause.
Right.
And really the training for sacred soul alignments, I mean, you just have to show up. There's really not much that you really have to do, right? You show up to class and you're attuned to something, you have an idea of what you would use it for. So it's almost like you show up to learn how to drive a car, and then you get the car and like you drive the car wherever you want to go. And maybe you have different cars for different things, would be the best analogy I have, because you really just have to learn how to drive.
You got your pickup truck.
Yes, you have like, do you want the sports car? Or do you need the minivan? Like, do you have more people? And I think that's almost like, I would say another thing that I've been around since like the beginning. So yes. I have definitely seen the modality increase in, I want to call it like in air quotes, ability. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's deeper and it has a lot more levels now.
For sure.
And so it's not necessarily, can I drive this car? It's like, oh, I have so many cars to use. Like, what's the exact thing that is needed here? And a lot of that has to do with intuition. And I think that in this field, sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves. Like, am I really going to know? Is it going to come? What if I'm wrong? Like, what if I pick the wrong one? And it's really skill. And this is a beautiful modality to play with skill. Like, it's such a great game to play. If you had to play any checkers game, this is the game, because sometimes clients will say to me, oh, I can really feel my heart beating faster here. Oh, this thing came to mind. And it's between you and the client, right? Like, you're able to hone it a little better. So to answer the question of, am I ready? I would say, I would ask the person, if I was in conversation, one, what's calling you to this? Is it because you just want to consume and you think that this is the next big answer, or the next shiny thing? Or are you really ready to practice something that, I mean, other people have said that really works, I guess is a way of saying it.
Right.
Or is this really calling to you? Like, I think if this is really calling someone, I would really encourage them to try. And if it's because of money, I guess I would go there. Often I would say about money, I find that it's never really about the money, right? Sometimes something in us feels like, oh, this isn't the right thing for me, or this really isn't the right time. And money is like the best scapegoat. Once we say to ourselves, oh, I really don't have the money for it. If I did, then I would be able to step up into this bigger version of myself, or I would be able to show up in a much better way or bigger way. But often we have to make the steps so that the universe meets us like at the better version of ourselves, right? So I would say that about money. And then there was a third question. So am I ready?
Time. The time investment.
The time investment. I think the videos, if I'm not mistaken, are, I would say, between half an hour to an hour. Yeah. The actual recordings, the lessons, the activations are pretty quick. I think the biggest piece is the thing that takes the longest, that Alicia is the best at, are the Q&As. Everybody has lots of questions like, oh, this happened, what do I do here? Oh, that happened, what do I do there? And that time helps you hone your craft. But if you had to like shave time, it would be, I think, the Q&As, because the answers really in, did I get attuned? Can I run the energy? And, I'm honing my craft. Like, and it's only going to come in practice. It doesn't really come in the Q&A piece. So the time investment for the most part is you're showing up for the modules, you're learning your piece, and then you go and you practice it, whether on someone else or yourself. And once you start to have a handle of how much energy you can run, you'll have a better idea of how much time it takes. And on a personal level, I mean, I'm starting to feel like a time hog. On a personal level, I run energy every day, like all the time, various times of the day. If I feel a tickle, I'm like, oh, I need to run X, Y, or Z in my throat because la 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 happened. Or, oh, I'm tired. Let me check in. Is something happening? Oh, let me do this. Once you know how to use it, the tool, then it's just a matter of like, what car are you picking, right? Like, and that memorization just comes with practice. Yeah. So I would say to anyone that's being called to try this modality, I don't have anything to compare it to. Like, I'm trained in many other things, and I don't know if it is or isn't worth it to name what they are, but I would say that in comparison to all of those, this takes the least amount of time. You don't have to like memorize the things that are actually in the alignments. You just know what's in the alignment and you just use it. Like, once you have an understanding, a general idea, it's not like baking a cake where you have to know it's a quarter of this and a quarter of that. You sort of just want to know that you like red velvet, and like you just continue to pull red velvet out, and that's it. So these are my analogies of the day.
I love your analogies. We've got Porsches, we've got red velvet cupcakes. Yeah, that's beautiful, Catherine. You answered all the questions. Thank you. And, with 450 alignments, for those, so I think there's 153 in level 1. So, I mean, just that's a lot of alignments to have to keep in your mind. And I don't have them all in my mind readily.
Well, you have them broken down in different categories. I don't know if I'm allowed to say category. I don't know what.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay. So for example, today, I'll give an example. Maybe this will help. Today, I was looking at one of my clients we're working on. She's been waking up between 3 and 4 in the morning. Like, she's all of a sudden there's a sleep disruption in the pattern of her night sleep. And she's had some grief and some sorrow. So I check the Chinese medicine clock. I'm like, oh yeah, it's definitely lungs. So there's something to clear in the lungs. And I'm like, okay, so I just went straight to the body series and I'm clearing out lungs. It's like a trickle.
Yeah.
And I don't have to think super hard. I know it's in the body series.
Right. Yeah, it is. I think the question I get the most often during class is, aside from what alignment should I use for this, is, am I doing this right? Because it's so easy. Like, it should be more complicated. There should be more, because we're used to, at least I was used to, healing methods where, you have to follow these specific instructions and do X, Y, Z, for whatever, this complicated routine. And that's just simply not necessary, and it's not needed with this modality. So there's another thing.
Analogy for that. I would say the analogy that I would give is like, when a client comes to you and they come to you, you're just sort of, if you were a medical doctor, you're a general practitioner. They can come to you and you have like a tool, or you have a pocket of tools that you can use for pretty much everything. You don't need to have surgical precision just yet. There's a certain amount of time that your clients will be listening to these recordings, or that you'll be working with someone on a particular issue, because every time they listen or every time you run it, you're working on different layers, right? You can only go as fast as the slowest part of the person that's being healed. You can only go as fast. So it's not about how fast can I do it, or am I getting it, and am I doing surgery here? It's like, oh, what can we cover with like all the love blankets that we have, and what's remaining? And you're actually waiting to see, is there something stuck? Is there something that's not moving? Because that's the indication that you're going to go further in that spot. Otherwise, if nothing else is coming up, then it's enough.
Right. I love it. I love your analogies.
Thank you. I hope that helps. That's how I see it. I think that I've also had, I would say when I have to go deeper, it's a completely, now we're working on something else. We've probably done many, many things, and we're hitting a spot where something else needs to be introduced. but normally that doesn't happen in the beginning pieces. And there is no like, I mean, sometimes you can really clear something right away, but if something's really deep for someone, you're probably going to work on it for a little bit, a few times.
Yeah, it's those layers, right? Things come in layers, and you can, so as from the standpoint of a practitioner, you can make your client a recording of those alignments that you're using, and then they can continue that process of peeling those layers until then, they're either ready for the next thing or ready to go to a deeper level with a different tool. And that's where the sacred light tools come in, which is a different class that I teach with my best friend Kimberly Carlson. But
yeah, that's a great example. Like today, when I did the thing with the lungs, we made a recording, and in addition to other things were in there, right, that I spoke about, and she'll probably listen to that for the next week.
Yeah.
And I'll have an idea in a week or so, what's still happening? Is she still waking up between 3 and 4 in the morning? Is something else stuck? Has she noticed something come up when she listens to the audios? Have something come to surface? Is she thinking about something, right? Because your client also gives you the other half. Right? They come to you with symptoms and they're giving you the other half of the story that you're working with. Like you're co-creating with someone else. You don't just go in guns blazing and just do whatever you want. You're sort of working with another human being. You're working with the slowest part of them. And it's like a beautiful orchestra. I can't say enough about the modality. I absolutely love what you can create. And I think that it's the biggest bang for your buck. The biggest bang for your buck as far as energy is concerned, as far as your own physical energy, what you have to put into it in order to be able to be successful, what it takes to learn it, how long it takes to run it. Yeah, I'm in love with it, and I have been for a really long time, since class 1. So yes. I'm all about it.
Thank you. Yeah, you've been around. We've been hanging around together since before Sacred Soul Alignment even existed. So you've definitely been there since the beginning.
And you guys will be doing co-creating miracles, right?
Yep.
Again this year.
Yep, we're doing that. So for practitioners, so that's a class that's only available for Sacred Soul Alignment practitioners and energetic allergy healing practitioners. But I know there's a lot of you listening. So yep, that will be teaching that November 16th. So just so that's on your radar.
It's on my radar.
Yes. Thank you so much, Catherine. It's always
You're
good
very
to
welcome.
see you.
Thank you, ladies.
I love all the analogies. So yeah, just one thing I wanted to say quickly is that with all of those 450 alignments, yes, they're broken down into series. So it's easy to be like, okay, no, this is a body issue. Let me go look at the health series. In addition to that, we now have a database where you can go in on the website and search keywords for the alignment. And I actually have that. It's normally password protected, just available for practitioners. But right now, until class starts next week, anybody can go to the database and look and see what alignments are available, what's been created. And it's if you go to sacredsoulalignment.com and click on alignments, you can see the level 1 alignments and the advanced alignments. And you can even type in, a keyword like grief, and you'll see all of the alignments that have that word in the description. And the tagging system is getting dramatically upgraded right now. Where it's a quite an undertaking, but we're tagging the alignments with things that I know that they work for, in addition to the words that are in the description. So if anybody's wondering what are these 450 alignments, you can go to sacredsoulalignment.com and click on at the top, click on alignments, and you don't need a password right now. That'll be that the password protection will come back when class starts, but I wanted to open that up for everybody to be able to take a look at that. So Adri, I'm gonna bring you on, and it's always so lovely to see you.
Yes, I'm so excited. I mean, what else can I say? I think everybody said everything I wanted to say. I was like, oh, she took my point. But so let me start from the beginning. I know you for a long, long time, and it's been amazing to see the growth, not just you as a teacher and mentor, but also in the modality. I think the modality is getting easier, but more powerful. And it's super simple. And I love that. I've been in the wellness spiritual industry for over 16 years, and I have different modalities like a lot of people. And I think that this is one of the easiest modalities that can also complement everything else that you do.
Yeah.
I love, because I have so many other tools. I'm also a yoga teacher. So for me, part of moving my body is key when it comes to complete health and wellness. So
Yes.
it is powerful to be able to bring alignments when I'm practicing yoga, when I'm teaching yoga, when I'm recording my yoga classes. People have seen tremendous amount of energy shifts and stuff happening. People come to me and says like, my hands are tingling, or only happens in your class, and it's because I'm running a whole bunch of different energies. I also have a crystal store, so I always infuse the crystals with energy, and it's been amazing. My jewelry, so stuff that you can do, supplements. So you have many supplements, alignments are supplements, and I infuse my turmeric alignment with the turmeric sorry, a turmeric supplement with the turmeric alignment.
Yep.
And it's been amazing. And one thing that I want to say, well, a couple of things, multiple things, but let me start with one. I recently had dental surgery, and I have high pain tolerance, and I don't do well with medication.
Yeah.
I take maybe Tylenol because the other stuff make me so sick. And I started running several alignments, and I can tell you, I never took the pain medication. I was taking less than the Tylenol quantity that they recommended, and I had no pain. I recovered so much faster just from running alignments and using crystals. So that's one thing that can be implemented, and you can see results right away. Another thing was, my husband had some health stuff going on. I messaged Alicia, and she is so kind. So everybody, if you don't know Alicia, I don't know her personally, but I've known her for many, many years. I mean, we haven't been like, hey, being able to see face to face and give each other a hug, but I know her. And so I messaged her, and she gracefully, she's such a giving, caring, generous person, that she recorded a meditation specifically for him to help him through this thing that he was going through. And I can say he's been fantastic. And he's not someone that is all into woo-woo stuff, but he's open to whatever I do. I mean, like, hey, stand up in there, I'm gonna sage you, or here, put this oil on. He takes it all on. But so this is something he's been doing, this meditation every night for the past, I don't know how long it's been, like 3 months maybe. Every night on his own, he listens to the meditation. He's like, I don't know what I'm listening to, but for the first few minutes I'm awake, and then I'm out, then I wake up and go to bed, because he listens to it in the office. So there's things that, another thing I didn't know or realize is, I lost myself. Oh, yes, I didn't know until I met Alicia and I started doing these classes with her, that I could record classes and they would be just as powerful as being in person. And to me, that was a game changer for myself, but also for my clients, because having the ability to record your classes or your meditations or whatever it is that you're doing and giving it to the client, and the client being able to receive the same amount of energy, whether they're live or recorded, is fantastic. That to me was mind-blowing. But the best part, again, I can say is, when I first did this training, it wasn't like I had like money coming out of the sky. It was something that I felt called to do. And you have multiple payment plans, which is great, but it's the best investment I did. And on top of that, I not only done it once, I done level 1 multiple times. I done advanced alignment, the advanced series multiple times. And that's the most generous part of it all, is that once you enroll, whatever you start today, or you started last year, or you're thinking about the next session, you're gonna get access to these recordings and the materials and be live, seeing the upgrades for life. And that's the most, to me, is the greatest gift of all, being able to be with you in this community that's so supportive as well, but being able to receive the upgrades, which you just did. I mean, you just not reinvented, but boosted everything. And I can see the difference. I can feel the difference in these new alignments. So that's what I meant. They're simple to use. They're easy to use. You can use it anywhere, anytime. I wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, oh, in running alignments, I need to do these. Or sometimes I go and put my hand on my husband. It's like, I need to run this alignment on him and then go back to sleep. Or I'm showering, or I'm walking, or I'm doing something. It's like, oh, let me run these alignments.
Yes.
So it is easy, accessible, simple, super simple. And you get a great teacher and mentor, but also you're part of an amazing community that
Yes.
is very supportive.
Yes. Thank you, Adri. And that's really my favorite thing about this is the community, we call it a family that we're in. If you choose to be, some people, that's not what they're looking for. But if you choose it, it's here and it's built in for you. And it's people that are on the same path that you're on, supporting each other. And that's priceless. It's priceless. And that we're adding something in this time that I've never done before. And actually, Adri is kind of an instigator in this and helping me to implement this. And that is partnering the new students up with a lead practitioner who's going to be, you'll be assigned to practice sessions. They're not required, but they're strongly encouraged. Practice sessions with the lead practitioner that you're assigned to. There's 4 of them. Adri's one, Sylvia's another one that we're going to be hearing from in a minute. And then we have Kylie in Australia and Sandra. A lot of you guys are who are watching might know Sandra Mayu. So Adri, you came to me with this idea, and this is the beginning where it's going to expand, just like everything, it's going to continue evolving. So I'm excited to what it's going to be creating is pockets of support that you'll know as a new student. You can go to this practice session, Thursdays at 3:00. Well, it won't be then because that'll be class time, but say Friday at 10 a.m. or whatever time it is. And they'll be twice a month that are optional, but included. Oftentimes this type of support is charged additional, an additional fee for. And I believe strongly if somebody makes the commitment to themselves and to the world that I'm going to be there and I'm going to support them in any way possible. And this is the new form of support. So for those of you who are considering this class, Adri may be the person that you're paired up with, or Sylvia or Kylie or Sandra. And so you're going to have a place to go. Of course, there's me. That's the number one line of defense or whatever. If you have a question, you can bring those into the Facebook group, or if you're not on Facebook, email me and I'll be answering those on the live Q&A calls. But sometimes, from what I've heard from people, sometimes, going to the teacher, even though I don't think I'm very intimidating, but, that can feel intimidating, or you just want, kind of a different avenue there. And so that's going to provide that for you. In addition to just a lot more practice implemented throughout this course to really get, and I've heard this from so many people, from everybody who comes to the practice calls, from those of you who lead the practice calls, how important that is, because this is a simple modality, but it's also a very deep and complex modality. So the more that we practice, the more we can understand what's happening, and the more that we can, do really with these tools. So I just wanted to mention that. Well, you guys will be getting to know Adri, those of you who join the class.
Yeah, I cannot say how important that is and how generous that is on your part too, because it's one thing that we want to take a course for whatever reason, okay, let me take this training and see how I do it, if it's for me or what happens. One thing I want to say, you don't have to do this as a business, meaning you can become your own healer and take this training just for yourself. If you want to make a business out of it, that's also there available. But the part that's very important and key about this, first of all, getting the training and the direct connection with you to get the downloads to receive the healings for ourselves, so then we can share it with others. But also that sense of having some type of mentorship, having some type of support system, that where you feel that you're not just one little fish in this vast ocean, that you're part of this pockets of community where you know that you belong. So I think that's very generous part of these trainings as well, having those trainings, those mentorship calls where there's no pressure. You can just observe, you can ask questions, you can just be as you are. There's not going to be any and it's like, oh, you're doing it wrong, or
Right.
there's no judgment. It's just,
Yeah.
it's very family, very supportive community, and that's what I love about it. So if you are anybody listening or watching, if you're on the fence, feel free to contact me or any of us speaking today. We really do this because we believe in this modality. We believe in Alicia and what she does. And if money is an issue, their payment plans, but also something I tell my clients and students all the time, if you don't make time for your health today, you're going to have to make time for your illness.
Yeah.
So how do you want to spend your time? So think of that as an investment, not just on yourself, but your well-being, longevity, the quality of life of yourself and your family. And that is priceless to me. So there's so much more I want to say and I can say, but I want to leave other comments and feedback to anybody else listening because it's been amazing. So thank you, Alicia.
Thank you, Adri. It's always a joy to see your face.
Thank you, Sam.
And remove that. There we go. Okay, good. Thank you so much. And I want to answer this question, and then if anybody else has anything to say about it. So, how active is the class? Are there a lot of lives or mostly on your own? Do I have to be solely focused and interacting? So I just want to address this. So, all of the training is pre-recorded videos. I've learned over the years that works so much better than trying to do the training live and then answer questions and do the healing, and it's just too much. So the training is in pre-recorded videos that you get access to new ones every single week, every Thursday. And they are between about probably 20 minutes to 45 minutes. And I'm adding new training videos this round, a whole series of intuition building processes, basically trainings. And so those will be an additional, probably between 10 to 25 minutes in addition to what has been there already. So it's about, I would estimate between 45 minutes to an hour and a half per week of training videos that you can take at your own pace. And then the live Q&A calls go anywhere from usually an hour to 2 hours, depending on how many questions there are, if things come up, and we do some healing on that call. And I always start those calls with the attunements for that week, so that if you're on a time schedule and you just want to come, get the attunements and then hop off, you can count on at least about a half an hour of time there. And then there are practice sessions. So there's going to be 8 practice sessions a month led by lead practitioners. And then I will be also doing a couple of practice sessions a month. And I think what I may do this time is actually do those at the tail end of a couple of classes during the live class time on Thursdays, because I feel that's going to bring more people into the practice. So those are optional, but highly recommended. For certification, you need to have 5 practice sessions, and they can be on anybody. And it's the honor system that they're for you to make sure that you understand the materials. But you need to, be practicing, and they don't have to be in the practice sessions, but those do count towards your 5. And I really can't stress enough how valuable those practice sessions are. So there's plenty of practice time available. And it's a combination of learning on your own and joining together with the community. There's as much support as you want, but you don't have to take advantage of it. So that leaves us to Sylvia. I'm going to bring you on.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I, like a lot of these other beautiful women, have so many modalities under my belt, and I don't do anything unless I know I feel a difference. I have to feel it in order to believe in it, to invest my time or money in something. So if I haven't felt it, it's a no right away. Like right away. Like I know, yes or no. And this was a yes. Yes, I need to do this. Alicia's very generous with her options for payment plan. I use it for a lot of things every single day, but I will say, as a already busy entrepreneur, you can put as much into this time-wise as you have time for it. But I will say that it will pay you back tenfold the more time that you invest in it. As far as personal healing, family healing, uh, any healing at all. And it always starts with us first, always. And so my journey with health and wellness has always begun with physical healing. And as I learned more and more, I understood how our emotional body works, how our mental body works, how our spiritual body works, and how it all really ties back together. And so for me, this was a heck yeah, I got to do it. Not only was it a heck yeah, I got to do level 1, I jumped in for the advanced levels as well.
Yes.
But I will say that the confidence for me in utilizing this tool, and I will say it's vast. It's far more vast than anything I've ever studied. But don't let that scare you. It's over a long period of time, and you have, like she said, one module unlocked every single week. What I love is watching those modules at a fast play speed.
I've heard people say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll 1.5x that speed and get Alicia going a little faster because I'm all about getting it, quick. So, but I will say that the confidence came from coming back through a lot of the courses once I've taken them and certified in them. And I have, like I said, a lot of modalities, and I've never felt so like quantum out of this realm in any of them. Like I absolutely get so high in frequency, and I know I'm flying places with my client together, and
Yes.
also with my practice partners. And what we have opened up intuitively, and the tools and how they all played and how we found out what to utilize are out of this world. Like I literally feel like I fly out of the world to get the tool and unlock another key for someone. And that is so fun. Like I absolutely love it. And it doesn't always, yes, there's shadow work. Yes, you have to dive deep. Yes, you have to go figure out what the root cause of all the things are that are really holding you back in life. But it can be so eye-opening, so invigorating, so like freeing for yourself and your client. Like I can't even put hardly words to it. But I will say that my confidence came from showing up.
Yes.
Showing up with practice, practicing. So Alicia gives you this plethora. I always said she gives you a fire hose of tools.
Yes.
Flying at you. You're like, you try to capture them all. And you're like literally, she just gives you so much. And then you're like, okay, I got a hammer, I got a screwdriver, I got a toolbox, and how do I make a house?
I love all the analogies today.
And so the practice, she makes bite-sized little nuggets of, today we're working on emotional health. Today we're working on anything blocking. Today we're working on oaths, vows, and contracts, and things that have binded us from moving forward that we don't realize that are impacting us in this life, that might have happened in a previous life, that we have no flipping clue that this is a repeated pattern or cycle. And yes, a lot of us, like I said, have the skills and knowledge and tenure and a lot of different healing modalities, but this pulls all of them together, and it makes it so that we can give it to someone, but we can't give it all to them because there's so much.
Yes.
We have to intuitively know that they're going to get what they need optimally at that visit. And then, and all the tools are built for that. And not only have I noticed confidence in utilizing which tools, but she's just made it so much more easier by learning and listening to feedback from her students and practitioners, that it's even better as you go through it. And that's what I love, is you get lifetime access, so you can actually go back through, and there's so many more new things. As she up levels, we all up level.
Mhm.
As she gets new downloads, we get new downloads. So it's part of our cost and tuition, for our original purchase and our original commitment to this modality. And whether we get those new tools is whether if we want them or not. We don't have to have them, because seriously, you've got so much coming through level 1, let alone level 2 or level 3, or beyond.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely I use it, as how do I use it? I use it in my morning vitamins. Like I'm pulling in all these alignments and I'm drinking it down. I could probably even put it in my water, and I have,
Yep.
because water, I drink water all day. So you could put alignment in your
Yep.
water. You could put alignments in your clothing when you're doing your laundry. You could do it on your children or your animals. There's so much benefit to it. And like I said, I couldn't say everything that I wanted to say without hogging this whole hour. But yeah, I just feel like if you feel like you're ready for something and you feel a difference from any of Alicia's live videos, it's probably a nudge from your higher selves and your guides, because you don't usually just see these things. And I was drawn to Alicia when I needed to be drawn to Alicia.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So Sylvia is one of the lead practitioners. Those of you who are joining the class, you'll see her face. You are one of the main people that helped me understand how important these practice sessions were, and really encouraging people to come to them, because you'd been a practitioner for quite a while, and then I started, I didn't do these practice sessions in the beginning, and then you started coming when I started offering them, and you told me this is so important, it's so valuable. So thank you for bringing that to my awareness. And I really do. This class has changed and morphed and grown and expanded in so many ways because of things that people, that people tell me, this idea, some of the ideas for alignments, like, the ways to run them and things to run them on, have come from students, and I've incorporated them into the class. And so it's always growing and expanding. And I'm excited to have you on board as a lead practitioner, this round, doing things in this new way, and it's going to be amazing. So thank you for being part of the family.
I'm a firm believer in the practice. I knew a lot before showing up, but I really feel like it solidified it. It brought it from up in my mind down to reality once I put those little bite-sized practice sessions to work.
Yeah.
Because it really is implementation of it that we get stuck at, because it's like, all sounds like beautiful, like it all sounds amazing, we want it all, but there's only so much we can do. And so she's broken it up for what we're working on, which makes it a focused point of practice, which helps.
Yeah, good. And it can be overwhelming, because you're getting so much and you want it all. I'm like that. I want it all right now. And then we get overwhelmed. So I have broken down. I actually have really chunked down bite-sized practice assignments for every single module in this next round, which is different from what I've done in the past. So yeah, we're ready to go next week. So thank you, Sylvia.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, and there's been a couple mentions of the cost, the payment plans. So I haven't checked yet, but I believe that the 12-month payment plan is now on my registration page. I asked my web guy to put that on this morning. So if you're you're like, I want this, but I don't know how to make it happen. You can go to the registration page, go to sacredsolignment.com, click on certification, and there is a 12-month payment plan now available. I don't have the exact amount of that. I can look it up. I'll look it up as Adrienne begins to speak, or Adrienne or Bobby Joe, either one of you guys can go next.
Hi, Alicia. I don't mind going.
Hey, let me spotlight you. It's so good to see you.
It's so good to be here. It's so good to be here. I'm just saying, there I am. There I am.
There you are.
I'm actually a level 1 sacred soul alignment practitioner. And I always tell the story of how I found Alicia also when I needed Alicia most. I had gotten out of a bad marriage and I didn't know anything about what I was dealing with at the time. I was going through a lot of anger and anguish and not understanding what was happening. And I love how Alicia has tools available that let us release things so that we can recognize, well, there's the relationship healing, right? There's that. So I went through that. And also I did a anger release and that helped a great deal. And there's just been so many issues that cropped up. Like the healing of the family wealth issue, something I talked about a long time with Alicia.
Yeah.
Our family really, I just heard something just the other day on YouTube and it said, they were talking about, wow, I'm having a lot of trouble with my lighting.
That happens to my camera sometimes too.
I almost feel like it doesn't pick me up unless I'm blonde and I decided to go red today.
Well, I love the red. It's beautiful.
But I was listening to something. It was talking about Jada Pinkett Smith, who is born or raised from Baltimore. And I was raised in Baltimore, the ghetto of Baltimore, and also the ghetto of Camden. And in this YouTube thing, they were saying the worst ghettos in the world was Baltimore and Camden.
Really?
Two that I came from. So even amongst those from the ghetto, they're recognized as the worst possible places you can be from if you're from that type of life. And they were just saying that at the point that was some of the things that Jada was dealing with, that she came from Baltimore, she dealt with Tupac, and it's a long story. So I thought, wow, so this thing that I'm carrying around is not just me. It goes deeper than that. It affects like levels of and like generations of people who have been in this poverty mindset. And I realized that not only is this helping me, and by the way, my daughter, I have to tell you, she hates it when I talk about her, but I'll just say this. She negotiated like a 6-figure deal on just one little thing she's doing. So the fact that she can do that on one thing, it's amazing because the mindset of the wealth consciousness is raised now.
Yeah.
And I feel like
in
it's
one generation. In one generation.
Yes. And this is definitely the first generation. I think when I first started talking to you about this, I expressed how my mother, we had to bury her in a pauper's grave. So there was this really deep, dark, murky feeling around money.
Yeah.
And I feel it releasing little by little. It's really hard for me, but I see it in my daughter and I feel like it's just around me. I don't think about it anymore. I just do my affirmations and I have my alignments going all the time in the background. I recorded them in my own voice. So I hear myself saying it all the time. And sometimes I just play it all day when I feel like I need it. And oh, Alicia, I can't even begin to thank you for creating this. It goes so much deeper than just what you can see. Like it goes so deep inside. It reaches that part of us that we can't heal by ourselves. But these alignments help us to clear that, not just for ourselves, but for the people that we work with.
Yeah.
And so I know for a fact that whenever I do the relationship healings, they work.
Yeah.
And the money, the lack healings, they work. I've had even my clients come back and tell me it worked. So I want to thank you. I feel like you're starting an army of people who can now go out and heal others who have these deep embedded issues they can't clear on their own. So thank you. I love you, Alicia.
Thank you so much, Adrienne. I love you too. It's always good to see your beautiful face.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, two really important points that Adrienne brought up, and that is the the work that we're doing on ourselves is having a direct impact on our family, on our children, and especially. And I have carried some heavy generational things that I had to deal with in, earlier in my life, that my daughters do not have these same issues, these same struggles. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that it's the work that I'm doing on myself, and I also do work on them. But when we work on ourselves and we can provide these tools for our families, for our children, they can create an infinitely better lives for themselves. We can create an infinitely better lives for ourselves. Our clients can create infinitely better lives for themselves. Us as a human collective, like Adrienne, it's funny you said army, because I just used that word last night. Somebody asked me, well, what's your vision with, what's your mission? And that was the first thing that came to my mind. I'm gathering an army of light, and together we're raising the light quotient on this planet. We really, really are. And we're not the only ones doing that. Of course, there's multitudes of people doing this, but we are doing this in a powerful, impactful way that's having an effect on, somebody said, hundreds of thousands of people. And that's absolutely true. And it's an honor to be with all of you. So thank you, Adrienne.
Pleasure.
Bobby Joe, you are on board if you're ready.
I'm here.
Do you want to be on camera or just talk?
Can you guys see at least my picture? I'm in Sedona. It's gorgeous.
No, but I'm going to be in Sedona in a few weeks. I want to see. That's okay. We can't see you, but that's okay. If you don't want to be on camera, that's fine.
No, okay, since we're all in this circles, I can step outside, I guess. It's a little dark in where I'm at, but I'm coming off the Mercury retrograde with Mars and Aries. Oh my gosh. See, that's how I am right now with the full moon in Aries. And we did the energetic allergy healing class today that you were leading. Yeah. And every time we do a new breath, a lot more comes in. So
we did the breath of peace attunement.
Yeah.
It's a sacred soul element attunement. And I always go into Kim's class.
Yeah.
With that too.
Oh no, I've been literally sleeping all day. So, and this is a good segue. Let me see if I don't even know what I look like, but we're just going to do it. Let me see if I can unvideo myself. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I apologize. Normally I'm makeup ready. But no, thank you. But no worries. I'm okay with me. Right. So, and the reason why I'm okay now is, so those that are familiar with me just from posting and stuff a lot, I am part of a book coming out called Faces of Mental Illness. And I talk about me getting in touch in a point in my life when I was ready to well, now I guess I can talk about it more freely, but before I couldn't even say it, but I was ready to end it. Like I was pregnant at the time. I was coming out of this horrible major trauma relationship after some other major traumas had happened just in the military and stuff. And I was at that point where I was like, after my child's born, we're going to look at adoption options, which is something I would never do. And the reason why I bring this up is because I moved out of that. Luckily, I got help and moved out of the area, or assistance to move out of the area and try to start over again. But I was never feeling healed. I was feeling in hiding. We were still checking windows. We were still, my best friend ended up two actually of my best Navy SEAL friends ended up taking their lives 6 months apart. And so I made the choice not to do that. But then when you make that choice and you're still living in this trauma state, you're not your best self, and you're absolutely not your best mom, right? Because I was a single mom with my two kids now, and I had a baby. And my oldest daughter, my foster daughter, she's in college at this time. So I bring this up because right now in this point in my life, I am talking publicly about where I was and when sacred soul alignments came into my life. And particularly it would be CERT 1. It's where, a lot of the people that are watching are looking at starting. So I was very much I had another trauma happen in the new place we had moved. It was pretty significant. And I had reached out to one of my veteran organizations and I went through this amazing program. and you have a week and you do a labyrinth walk, and they introduced me to all these spiritual things that I'd done in the past, because I'm a graduate from another intuitive school and all these things, but I hadn't been doing any of my spiritual work. I was literally trapped in trauma, and that's the only way I can say it in words, especially looking back at it now. And so I come back from this week, and then it's like, oh, this was amazing. Now what? Like, what? Okay, so I'll meditate more than I was trying to, or you know what I mean? You're kind of just like, well, what do I do? What do I do? Like, I don't know. And the program's great. Like, I recommend it to everybody. It saved my life, literally. But I needed more. And then, like everybody else says, all of a sudden Alicia popped up on, I don't even think I had Facebook for a year yet. One of my friends had me get, and it was under, I don't use my name, my first name's the same, but my last name or anything, because I'm kind of incognito. I had maybe like 100 people on there, people I knew from the military. Like, I don't even know where Alicia came from in that world. Like, honestly, she just pops up. Like, even in my the battle within isn't like a holistic spiritual, thing you go to, you know what I mean? It's a retreat, but it's for veterans and combat veterans, and it's marketed very differently, right?
Yeah.
So Alicia pops up, and I'm like, oh, well, I used to do this kind of stuff, or like I'm maybe, now's a good time for some healing, right? And so I was watching her stuff, and COVID had just happened, and I'm watching the stuff, and then she comes out with this and I honestly can say it, at the time I signed up, I didn't even realize it was a certification class. I really didn't. I just knew that this was my next level of healing. I was so trapped in this PTSD, and I just wanted out so badly. I just wanted to feel happy, right? And one of the things that had happened at the retreat was we had a day at Equine Day where it literally had just like burst open my heart space. This is how I refer to it now. Literally just burst open, and I'm like sobbing next to this other social worker, because I'm a social worker. Next to the social worker, she's doing the equine stuff, and finally gets all of this out. And then I was like, well, I don't want to, to me, I'm like, I don't want to be crying all the time. That's depression. And, I had all these like conflicting emotions about my heart opening up and feeling all these emotions again, right? Because I have to face them. Yeah. And then this modality comes along, sacred soul alignment. What's the first thing we do? We're and to me, I always call it grounding. Oh yeah, let's get grounded. And the grounding itself, just learning the heart. You're still calling it the heart of creation.
Yes.
Yes, because I know it's been tweaked here and there, but just the heart of creation alone, like I could breathe. You know what I mean? And it took all that heart opening that I had, and it was putting like my love back in it, not other people's, or not bringing in she's not waving a magic wand over me or anything. It was connecting me back in with me, and reminding me of like how amazing I am, and how much love I have inside me, and that the people that I have around me, the ones that I wanted to continue to have around me, the relationships that were healthy and that were also heart-centered, I could see them and feel them so much more clearly. And I'm telling you, I have literally just dropped. I'm not talking people that never in my life would I have thought like, oh no, this will be my best friend forever, dropped. And I don't have any regrets, remorse. I don't feel guilt, like none of that. You know what I mean? Because I know going through this modality, and yes, I've now at this point I'm advanced and the secret light, and
I've done it all. Yeah.
Done co-creating miracles, and now I'm doing the energy allergy healing. But the reason why I share that too is because you start, I just started because I just wanted to heal, and I just wanted to feel happy again. Right. That's it. I just wanted to be a better mom for my kids. I just wanted to feel happy. And then we're probably, I don't even know if it was after Cert 1 fully or not. It was like I started doing and practicing this with the modality itself, with other veterans and other people that have experienced sexual assault and PTSD, and all the unfortunate things that are in that trauma space. And I work with homeless crisis, like we're in there kind of in that space as well. So I started doing the work with them, and it was just amazing, the feedback I was getting. And I was like, me who was hiding out, decided to start a practice. And then I took advanced, and then I got I found another modality that I mix in. It's a subconscious reprogramming, right? And sacred soul alignments goes right into any, and I know a lot of the practitioners have mentioned this, everything that you're bringing in, if it is for your highest and best good, it matches. And I shared at the last roundtable you had that I do events, and I'll just mention that briefly because I still do events. Right now, I actually narrowed it down to I'm only doing very specific events now, like particular, like intuition wise. I'm just like, no, I'm a fit for this, this, and this. And every time I go, it'll be a different thing with people, but I always get the people that are trying to clear a past relationship or a past trauma, you know, in that kind of a space.
Yeah.
I'll start running the heart of just running the heart of creation, or just even getting them grounded, and I start running their energy. And I haven't even told them, you know, like I'm running, they know that I'm running their energy, but not necessarily the heart of creation, but I start connecting them, and I'll open my eyes and there's tears coming down their face.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, I don't know what's going on, but like, I can, you know, they can already feel it. Or I'll just say, I'm gonna, you know, I'll feel that there's trauma, like heavy trauma.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, I'm gonna ask you directly, like, you know, and you don't have to give me the details. You don't have to but I'm picking up on this. Do you want some healing on it? And usually I just get the, and then we just start doing the healing work. And it is amazing. And because I am in social work and I'm very trauma informed, I do get a little strange about people working in trauma spaces that aren't familiar with what can happen when you open up that kind of space for somebody. But I will tell you, there hasn't been anyone, I mean, I will take a 20-minute session, you know, at an event or whatever, and it will have an hour, and I won't even charge them more for it. It's just literally like, what do we need to get? Who's sitting in front of me, and what do you need from me right now? And every time that a person gets back up, I always check in with them and make sure that how are they feeling. And I've never had anyone, like everyone is, I should say actually an affirmation, but everyone is always like, you know, like I feel good. Like I'm always like, I know it's a lot. You just had a lot. And because we're not recording, I wanted to mention this. Somebody mentioned about the recordings. One of the things you can do, or one of the things even I do when I'm not being attuned to teach something and I'm getting a healing from someone, is I will just set, because I'm also part of the sacred light, but I'll set a sacred light intention for my healing work. And I'll tell the person in front of me, you know, we just did healing work. If later on, this is something you would normally run a few times, you can just say the healing that I got, you know, Sunday or whatever, I'm accepting it again, and let that run. Just sit down and let that run through your body. If I feel the person needs it, I will stop what we're doing and I will give them word for it. So their subconscious mind can hear word for word the heart of creation. So even if they don't remember the words later, they remember how it felt. They remember all the visceral, their subconscious mind knows that this is highest and best good. It's not going to be as resistant, you know, those kind of things that I do. But this modality literally changed my life. And if anybody's out there listening and you're like, oh, I don't want to start a business, or I'm not, you know, I don't want to do readings, or I don't want to do healing work, or I've already done Reiki, or all the things that I hear all of these things all the time. Like, so you do Reiki, or, you know, or somebody will be like, oh, I do quantum healing. And I'm like, that's funny. So do I. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't call it that, but do you know what I mean? And it's just, but that's the way it is. The modality really goes into so many levels of what you can heal, how you can heal yourself. And so I'm not, you know, back in the how do I heal the PTSD in that sense, where, you know, now I have things in place and I'm running when I feel squishy or whatever. But now I'm at the deeper levels, like the generational wealth has come up in my space as well with the poverty cycles. And, you know, I ended up this year taking my kids, and I just heard go to Mount Shasta, and we left and we traveled, and I ran modalities and picked up energy from all these beautiful places that we went to and incorporated them into my healing. Yeah, yes. And actually I ended up in a pyramid at Mount Shasta the second time. Yeah, with two other practitioners.
Yeah.
Right. And like that all came together. And I also noticed on the feed that a lot of practitioners, especially this, and like I haven't been with you from the very beginning, like a few have, but especially this year, I noticed how many practitioners were meeting in person and getting to, like, how many friends, like I call them friends, that I have just through this modality, not only that have got to meet in person, but maybe I haven't met them in person yet, but I would, you know, I message them, like Jennifer, she has her, what is hers, the rising, I think she'll be on the next roundtable, but she's in Massachusetts, and I feel like her and I have coffee every day or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I know
I
it's a
know.
family. It is. It really
It is.
is a family. And that was. I've talked about this, but that was really reflected back to me. I see
Mhm.
it with you guys all the time, but it was reflected back to me this spring when I, had a big major surgical fiasco and literally
Hmm.
almost lost my life, and I couldn't see or hear. My eyes and ears were swollen shut. Couldn't see or hear for several days. I was completely off work for 6 weeks. My house was filled with flowers from my Sacred Soul Alignment family. I had meals being delivered from my Sacred Soul Alignment family, tea and bath bombs and stuff for my daughter and blankets, and just the level of support that I received from you all blew my mind, and was far beyond anything that I received anywhere else, in my life, uh, you know, which was amazing because you guys are family to me. And, and we get to support each other when somebody has surgery or is going through, something difficult. There's been some difficult things that have happened for some of us this year. You guys are shaking your head. You know what I'm talking about. There's the level of support that we offer to each other. And that's not part of the class. That's part of what comes out of this class because of the type of people that are drawn to this work. And I sit in awe, and I'm so honored to be part of it, and to be bringing this out into the world, but I'm just a part of it. It's not me doing this, it's us together. And I'm just really honored to have all of you guys with me and to see who's coming into the family next week. Thank you. Thank you, Bobby Joe.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I did want to mention something. I don't remember. It was said like a couple days ago in the group or whatever. But when you just said that now about how you're not, doing all these things, I do want to say that when I say that the modality saved my life, or that an organization, or that when my friend, certain things that have happened, I do want to stress the thing that you have to make the choice to sign up for this. You have to make the choice to show up. And let's say you show up and you're like, whoa, I don't know about this. And you take a month off, and then you're feeling guilt. Don't feel guilty about it. Your body is processing in the pace that you need it, but just do it. You can only save yourself, right? You can ask for support. You can get the tools. The universe will bring everything you need to you, but you have to do the work. You have to make the choice, right? So just do it. Just do it.
Thank you. Yeah, and there's as much support there for you as you want. Anything else you want to share, Bobby Joe? Oh, that's a beautiful picture.
Oh, now you can see me.
Yeah.
that was the second time in Sedona after we all met in the pyramid. After I healed my ankle with the Sacred Soul Alignments, I've almost healed my endometriosis because I had severe endometriosis from the trauma in the military, the MST. I healed my ankle. Literally, we were in the pyramid, and I say we, Alicia knows, but Alicia, Debbie, and Maritza and I were all in the pyramid, and I hobbled in, and I was able to walk with putting weight on it afterwards. And we, which was crazy, but like we had a whole, I'd been working and running alignments. My dog got really sick. We took him on a trip, a puppy, and we healed him within 2 days, I think. And it was something really bad, like a really bad virus. And we didn't think he was good. Like, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know about what's wrong with the dog might not make it. And then I was like, no, the dog's going to make it. Like, I'm going to run alignments. And me and my daughter, who's 11, her and I did healing work on the dog together. And yeah, so whether it's mental health, physical health, spiritual, emotional, whatever it is, it can be healed with the modalities and interchangeably with other modalities.
Yes. Thank you so much, Bobby Joe. Okay, I think that is everyone. So we're going to do this again on the 26th, I think at noon. I'll be announcing it in the group. I like this more more manageable size of practitioners because these I've done many of these, and there's been roundtables that have gone on for like 3 hours, which is amazing, but that's a lot for all of you guys who are watching to sit through. So thank you for those of you who joined me today. I'm so honored to have you as part of this family and on this path with you. For those of you who are watching us and are thinking about this class and, is this right for me? Can I do this? I looked up, I just wanted to see make sure the payment plan option was on there. And there is a 12-month payment plan on the registration page. So you can just go to sacredsoulalignment.com and then click on certification. And there's a full pay in full, which is $16.90, 3-month payment plan, which is $630 a month for 3 months. 6 months is $315 a month for 6 months, and the 12-month plan is $157.50 for 12 months. And for the first time ever, I have the bundle, and it's amazing. I think at least half of the people who are joining me this round have opted to get the whole thing. So both levels, 450 alignments. As a bundle, you can save an additional $600. I've never been able to offer that before because I didn't have the advanced class all put together yet, but I do now. So you can take advantage of that, and the 12-month payment plan on that is $256 a month for 12 months. All of the information on all of that is on the registration page, and I've opened up some spots in my schedule if you want to hop on a quick Zoom call with me. I'm going to be sending out that link in the email with this replay here. So if you're on my email list, watch for that, or I'll be posting those links in my Facebook group as well. You can reach out to me on Facebook or email too, and I can send you those links. My email is alicia@aliciahartzell.com. And I lost my train of thought of what I was going to say next, but we're starting next Thursday, October 28th. It's a 12-week class. We have a couple breaks for over the holidays, so we'll actually be together through mid-January. That allows for a little bit more spaciousness in the integration as well. I like teaching over this time of year because we get those breaks. And your life will not be the same. You will not be the same person. If you participate in this class, you will not be the same person that you were when we started. So I look forward to welcoming those of you who are called into this family. And thank you all for being here with me today. So much love, everyone. And I will see you all soon. Thank you, guys. Bye for now.